Jylene Morgan here, coming to you from Grandma Grape's Reading Corner. I probably haven't told you this, but my reading corner is located in Eagle, Idaho. And Eagle, Idaho is about 2 hours away from McCall, Idaho. And I have a history with McCall besides living 2 hours away from it. Back about 64 years ago, my former husband and I lived in McCall, Idaho, and our oldest child was born there. And so I remember McCall from those days. And this book, when I found it, really brought up some memories. This book was written about McCall in 1948. That was just a little bit after the Second World War. And people began to see that McCall was a beautiful place, and they started to build summer homes there in McCall. And so this story about the skydiving beavers, this is a true tale, actually happened in 1948. And like I said, there were homes being built, and there were some inhabitants that had lived in McCall for many years, and they were the beavers. And they came before all the homes. And so this story starts with it all started when the folks in McCall, Idaho realized they had a problem. A big problem. A big beaver type problem. McCall in Idaho's woodsy back country was a lovely place. Trees so tall, they touched the sky, crisp out in the air, and oh, that sparkling blue lake. Swimming and hiking in the summer, skiing and snowmen in the winter. Who wouldn't want to live there? People rushed to build homes and lodges on the shore, docks for their sailboats and canoes, and paved roads to get to it all. Trouble was, that lakeside land had already been claimed. For decades, centuries even, beavers had been the only ones doing the building there. Beavers feel right at home on land and in water. For protection from critters that think they'd make a nasty, tasty snack, beavers build dams, then hide deep in the water behind the dam. Beavers build their dams with wood they harvest by gnawing down trees, lots and lots of trees. And here's a picture of the beaver standing on his home. Now the beavers had a problem too, a big problem, a big people type problem. Where the beavers once built their dams, now there are boaters and swimmers. Where the beavers once gathered food for dams and food, now there were houses and people. And where the people tried to drive their cars, now water flooded the roads because of the dams. Where the people wanted to enjoy their backyard views, now trees toppled left and right, thanks to all the gnawing. The people are muscling in on the beavers' habitat. And the beavers are trashing the people's habitat. A real turf war. It seemed McCall just wasn't big enough for everybody. So what to do? What do you think they decided to do? Let's find out. One man named Elmo Heater had an idea. Elmo had a lot of experience with beavers, working as he did for the Idaho Department of Fish and Game. He knew just what beavers needed to be happily and peacefully to live happily and peacefully, wide open spaces with plenty of trees, loads of rivers and creeks, and absolutely no people around. Elmo knew of a place just like that, the Chamberlain Basin, many, many miles away. Acre after acre of deep, dense forests, fresh mountain streams and ponds, pure wilderness untouched by humans. A neighborhood where the beavers would feel right at home. And this is the place right here. But Elmo had a problem, a big problem, a big transportation type problem. How do you move a bunch of beavers to a place with no roads, no railway, no airport, and no bus station? Elmo thought about using horses or mules. He could round up the beavers, put them in cages, load them on the pack animals, and hoof it a few days into the wilderness. But Elmo knew that long, rough trips would make beavers mighty grumpy, and that horses and mules would get spooked and ornery when loaded with unhappy beavers. No, beavers, horses, and mules just didn't mix. Then Elmo remembered the piles of parachutes left over from World War II, which had ended just a few years before. What if he dropped the beavers from a plane? Skydiving beavers? Well, why not? Elmo had his plan. Now he needed to figure out how to make it work. And here he is, working on his plan. One of Elmo's early ideas was to put the beavers in a box made of woven willow branches. He thought that once the box parachuted to the ground, the beavers inside would gnaw their way to freedom. After more pondering, though, Elmer tossed that idea. Beavers are grade A gold star chewers. The beavers might chew their way out too soon. They might run loose on the plane, or they might pop out mid-skydive. Elmer came up with another idea. How about a box that opened automatically when it landed? And here Elmo is making his plans. Elmo liked this idea and went to work on a design. He built a box of wood with holes drilled for air, all hinged and harnessed with rope. The parachute attached to the rope, the weight of the beaver filled box hanging from the chute would keep the rope taut and the box closed during the beaver's dive. The rope would loosen and the box would open once the beaver landed. And so here Elmo is working on his box. Elmo needed to test the nifty self-opening beaver drop box. He put together a team and did a few experiments with weights. The box opened every time. Now he needed the real thing, a beaver. Elmo corralled an old male beaver into the box. He named the beaver Geronimo. Elmo fastened a parachute to the box. A pilot took the box up in a plane. When the plane buzzed low over Elmo's test field, the box was dropped. The chute bloomed out like a buttercup, then caught the breeze. Elmo surely held his breath. The box fell as gently as a mountain snowflake, landing softly on the grass. The box sprang open, and Geronimo scrambled out. The parachute plan worked. But Elmo needed to be sure that the parachute plan would work every time, not just this once. So he and his team tested again and again and again. After a while, it seemed Geronimo was growing to like all the skydiving. Each time he touched down with the box and the box sprang open, he'd scurry out, then crawl right back in for another go. But finally, Elmo and his team felt sure that the parachute plan would work to transport just one beaver, but to a whole batch of beavers. It was time to put the plan into action. So that fall, as the leaves changed from green to red, the team rounded up bunches of beavers from McCall. They packed the beavers into the boxes, they loaded them onto the plane, and they headed for the Chamberlain Basin. There they are, loading the box on the plane, getting ready to go. The pilot buzzed low over the thick forest, looking for the grassy meadow the team had selected for the drop. There it was. The team readied the chutes. 3, 2, 1, now! The chute swooshed open, and beavers fell from the sky. They wafted like falling leaves on the autumn wind to their new woodsy patch of paradise, and the first to hit the ground was Geronimo. With his nose leading him to water, there he and the other beavers could build a happy, peaceful home. And here are the beavers parachuting down into Chamberlain. And that is the end of the story. But there is, at the end of it, there's an author's note, and there's, bet you didn't know that, beavers, and then there's some more explanation about this. So you can pick up this book and read more about beavers. And this was exciting for me. I hope it was exciting for you. Jylene Morgan here, coming to you from Grandma Grape's Reading Corner. Goodbye. See you next time.